Good morning. Welcome to Unity of Walnut Creek. It's great to have you with us. Today we're going to transform consciousness. You're a part of that. Join in with us. And we've got wonderful music to support that journey. And as it takes place, we'll be inviting you to touch that very powerful, beautiful, loving center of your being. Thank you for joining us.
Welcome to Unity of Walnut Creek. Please join and stand as willing or able for the first song. Rise as you can. Song that I wrote called Let Love In, and I want to invite you guys all to join in and sing along. So just join in as I'll start the song off with the chorus. So. I see all that is and not me. A world of illusion parting itself from me. Let love in, let love shine, let them know. Let love live, be patient, give from your soul. Let love in, let love shine, let them know. Let love live, be patient, give from your soul. Now you're alone, my friend, for the moment has come to go through your shadow to the heart of darkness. Pray for a kind death as you journey in the unknown. Awaken that fire burning within your courageous heart. Let love in, let love shine, let them know. Let love live, be patient, give from your soul. Let love in, let love shine, let them know. Let love live, be patient, give from your soul.
Good morning. Good morning. And welcome to Unity of Walnut Creek. My name is Jennifer Hooker, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to our service. Before we get started, if you could all please check your cell phones and make sure they are in the completely off position. Thank you so much. Please also join me in waving hello to our friends online. Your presence adds to our spiritual community, and we truly appreciate you joining us. Thank you. Please also join me in welcoming Chris Waltz, our guest musician. CDs will be available on the patio after the service. Let's open our service by focusing our intention through our opening affirmation. Please join me in prayerfully and powerfully speaking it together 3 times. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, the all-loving goodness of God. Again, there is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, the all-loving goodness of God. And once again, there is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, the all-loving goodness of God. Let's continue by reading aloud the statement of our unity. God's love is within each of us, guiding us to dynamically express our wholeness, wisdom, and abundance. We acknowledge the universal wisdom in the Christ teachings and in all spiritual paths. I now choose to open to the presence of divine love and to be changed at depth. Throughout this sacred time, God is uplifting me and through my heart, the world. And now our heart minister, Jeannie Fusen, will read from Unity's Daily Word.
The word for today is imagine. With each brushstroke on a canvas, artists create beauty and form. Through their imagination and skill, they capture what they see in the world and in their mind's eye. The depictions in their art stir the soul. My God-given power of imagination opens a world of possibilities to me. By using my imagination, I can turn what seems impossible into the possible. By being resourceful or creative at home and at work, I create what I imagine. My imagination allows me to soar beyond appearances, visualize what is possible, and bring it into form. My enthusiasm expands as I apply my imagination. I use my creative power daily to explore new dimensions of living. The scripture is Psalm 139:16. Your eyes beheld my unformed substance. And the affirmation for today is, I use the power of imagination to create a new world of discovery and joy. Together,
I use the power of imagination to create a new world of discovery and joy.
breathe that in and repeat. I
Use
use
the power of imagination to create a new world of discovery and joy.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'd like to just do a very short introduction. I'll be singing a medley of 2 songs, both of which I wrote. I'll be singing in Irish Gaelic, and I'll give you guys the translations for those of you who are a bit rusty. The first piece is called Maher, and Maher in Irish Gaelic means mother, and I wrote this as a hymn or a chant, sort of the feminine aspect of the divine. And the second song is called A Mystic's Prayer, and the two sort of slumped together. Translation is, O sweet mother, our Holy One, Mother Most High, Mother in Heaven. have faith. We deeply mourn for you. To be of open heart like God, we share our gift with the Spirit Mother we give. Thank you very much.
I'm going to highlight a few upcoming events. The details of these and other events can be found in your bulletin and also on our website. If you're interested in joining our community as a member, please join Reverend David this afternoon. Everyone who is interested in learning more about Unity is invited to attend. Next Sunday, please welcome Dr. Kim Clarity as guest speaker at both services. Attend her Ascension workshop that afternoon and create major transformations in your life. And also, on the third Saturday in May, Reverend Sheila will present the magic of radical forgiveness, which will be an all-day workshop. Release past negative influences that have held you back and kept you from being all that you can be. If you are here with us for the first time, we welcome you to our spiritual community. We would enjoy meeting you, and we'd also like to invite you to experience our community as a guest at a Unity event of your choosing. Please take the very important present card, which can be found in the seat pocket in front of you, to the welcome table on the patio outside after the service to learn more about us and to receive your gift certificate. And if you are willing, please raise your hand so that we can acknowledge you. Welcome. We'd like to extend a special blessing both to you and everyone new to us here online and also. We love you, we bless you, and we behold the light of God shining through you. Welcome. And until the music begins, please take a moment to greet the people around you. Well,
Take that deep breath in through your heart. And breathe it out. And I'll either lead us in prayer in English or in Gaelic. So we go back in and get comfortable. And as you turn inward, let the music, as it's a new piece of music, so as you hear it, let it kind of fill you, and then as you're guided, join in as we let that music be the guide to the very center of our heart.
This is a new one, so just join in as you feel. I love Spirit, Spirit loves me, and I love sets me free. I love Spirit, Spirit loves me, and I love Spirit, Spirit sets me free, and I love Spirit, Spirit loves me, and I love Spirit, Spirit sets me free. I love Spirit, Spirit loves me, and I love Spirit, Spirit sets me free. And I love Spirit, Spirit loves me, and I love Spirit, Spirit sets me free.
Beloved Spirit, infinite presence of love, Mother, Father, God, as we take this inner journey to know you more deeply, as we open heart and mind to be touched by your presence, we give thanks that this divine love that you are is present in our hearts, powerful, radiant, filling us, blessing us. As we touch this place within our hearts where we love, where we send our love to those that are dear to us, blessing each one. And holding that experience of that feeling of love as we let it fill us, lift us, touch us at depth. For you are loved. You are loved with an infinite love, without condition or limitation, that treasures the beautiful spiritual being that you are. This is my beloved child in whom I am well pleased. And it's in that love that we rest, as gently it fills us and invites us into that sacred place of stillness. Following the direction as it was given through the psalmist. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know. place in which we know this divine presence and its love. And making the choice to send that love forth, to touch and bless and heal. And so we take and radiate this love from our hearts. First to our bodies for our own healing and well-being. We send this love to mind and heart for wisdom and understanding. We radiate it from our hearts to each one dear to us, blessing, touching, healing, lifting, bringing peace. We radiate this love from our hearts, sending it across this spiritual community, becoming a part of that light and wisdom that flows through each being, blessing everyone in their world. We radiate this love from our hearts. We send it to every prayer request brought here, knowing with each one that this love lifts them into that which is the highest. And we send this love from our hearts across the communities in which we live. We send it across our nation and the nations of the world, drawing forth the wisdom and compassion of all peoples. We send this love to all who join us in prayer, whether in mosque or synagogue, temple or church, whether gathered at home or on the hillsides. For in seeking to know you, we are all one. We send this love from our hearts to Mother Earth and all her creatures. And our love now enfolds the earth to touch the heart of every person. For you are that love in every heart. And in that love, we are one. Divine love flows from my heart, enfolding and blessing the world. Please join me. Divine love flows from my heart, enfolding and blessing the world. And again, divine love flows from my heart, enfolding and blessing the world. And once again, divine love flows from my heart, enfolding and blessing the world.
I love Spirit, Spirit loves me. And I love Spirit, Spirit sets me free.
It is so. Amen.
When I'm less than I should be, and I just can't face the day. When darkness falls around me, and I just can't find my way. When my eyes don't clearly see, and I stumble through it all, you I lean upon, you keep me strong, and you rise me when I fall. You are there when I most need you. You are there so my back's against the wall. You are standing there right with me, just to keep me standing tall. Though a burden I may be, you don't weary, you don't rest. You are reaching out to carry me, and you know I'm heaven blessed. You were there when I most need you. You were there so constantly. You come shining through. You always do. You were always there for me. You were there when I most need you. You were there so constantly. You come shining through. You always do. You were always there for me. You were there when I most need you. You were there so constantly. You come shining through. You always do. You were always there for me.
So it's time for you to be there for that person sitting next to you and remind them by telling them, "Good morning, you beautiful child of God." All right. That journey to discover what that really is one of the most amazing things, and what a delight it is to travel it, even through some of the bumpier times. This week I remembered an experience that happened for Charles Fillmore. Now, for those of you who may not know, Fillmore is with his wife Myrtle, was the co-founder of Unity, and that happened for her by healing herself of tuberculosis through prayer. And Charles went on to become one of the great mystics of our time. And so he was working with the understanding of universal laws, how we create by what we hold within, the experiences that we have without. And some men came to his door, and they said they were there to pick up the presses that he was using at the time to print Unity, the Unity publications, which was pretty much all that Unity was at that time. And it turns out he hadn't been able to make the payments on those presses. So they were there to repossess them. And so Charles Fillmore standing with this in front of him, and that's an interesting experience with the Universal Law School. So what it says is that at that point he had a consciousness that we might call not enough. Okay, however the divine was showing up in his world, it wasn't quite showing up enough, at least in the material realm. And I think that came to my mind, that experience of his consciousness, because in the work that we've been doing on Tuesdays, we've been working with the universal laws of abundance. And part of what we've seen is that we've got a lot of messages back in our consciousness. That we've all picked up messages that say, oh, life is hard and you got to struggle, and many that say, I'm not really worthy. It's not all right for me to be good. And some of us grew up with messages that we were sinful and bad and all that sort of lies. But anyhow, we get these messages and they become part of our belief system, and then we experience that in the outer. And one of the ways that shows up is not enough. That struggle that takes place in the material realm, and the fears that come up around that. And then part of what happens for that is if enough of us are working on that one, we join together and we create that consciousness for our community. And so I was at a meeting the other week and noticed that we have been practicing not enough now for several months. And going, whoa, well, that's interesting. We're seeing it showing up in a course that we're doing, and now we're seeing it show up in our collective consciousness. That means it is a spiritual assignment for us to transform that information, because part of our work here is the transformation of consciousness. So if we see something needs to be transformed, we know why it's there. So I want to share with you a couple other stories of the experience of movement from not enough to more than enough. And by the way, what Charles Fillmore responded to the men that showed up to take the presses was, he says, oh, you don't need to worry about that. I've got a rich father. And they responded, they didn't know any. He said, don't worry, I'll go to my rich father and get all that we need, and so you don't need to take the presses. So they said, okay. And they went home. Now, they didn't understand that rich father was using it kind of like Jesus used it. Certainly wasn't his daddy. So, but as he did that, as he stood in the middle of that which was showing up and chose to affirm that which was greater, that which was his true source, the result of that experience was that the money did come in and they were able to make the payments and go on with their publications. So I want to take you now to two experiences where this shift of consciousness, not enough, into the experience of more than enough takes place. And before we get into that, let me just mention, there's a reason why we do more than enough. Just barely enough is just barely enough. Okay, that's not particularly a feeling of abundance, and part of it is you aren't here for just barely. You are a spiritual instrument through which divine blessing flows to everyone and everything around you. And part of your work is to be the channel of more than enough, so that you reach out and touch and uplift that which is in your world. So let me take you to this. Now, the first experience is one that we often hear. It's the feeding of the 5,000, and it has this shift of consciousness. But then I want to go to a different experience where we see the same thing. As the evening approached, the disciples came to him and said, "This is a remote place, and it's already getting late. Send the crowds away so they can go to the villages and buy themselves some food." Jesus replied, "They do not need to go away. You give them something to eat." "We have only 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish," they answered. "Bring them here to me," he said. And he directed the people to sit down on the grass, taking the 5 loaves and 2 fish. And looking up to heaven, he gave thanks and broke the loaves. Then he gave them to the disciples, and the disciples gave them to the people. They all ate and were satisfied. And the disciples picked up 12 basketfuls of broken pieces that were left over. The number of those who ate were about 5,000 men, besides women and children. From not enough to more than enough. Now, this later event, this one coming after the resurrection. So they went out, and this is the disciples. So they went out and got into the boat. But that night they caught nothing. Early in the morning, Jesus stood on the shore, but the disciples did not realize that it was Jesus. He called out to them, "Friends, have you any fish?" "No," they answered. He said, "Throw your nets on the right side of the boat and you will find some." When they did, they were unable to haul the net in because of the large number of fish. When the disciple whom Jesus loved said to Peter, "It is the Lord," as soon as Simon Peter heard him say, "It is the Lord," he wrapped his outer garment around him, for he had taken it off, and jumped into the water. The other disciples followed in the boat, towing the net full of fish, for they were not far from shore, about 100 yards. When they landed, they saw a fire burning with coals there, fish on it, and some bread. Not enough, more than enough. Okay, change of consciousness in each place. Now, I have no idea if these experiences actually took place. What I do know is that as we look at the symbols that are there, those symbols have proven to be so accurate in how we make the shifts in consciousness that are being taught. In each one, in each experience, you have the third dimensional experience, which is not enough. Then there is the focus of attention shifts to Jesus. Then from that experience, it's through the disciples, when we're dealing with the feeding of the 5,000, it's through the disciples that the passing out takes place. And what is manifested is more than enough. Now, in the one where they're fishing, okay, again we have not enough. Then we have the focus on Jesus. And then the disciples draw what's there into the shore, onto land. Now, what happens is fish are a symbol of idea. So in each case, we have what Charles Fillmore would talk about as divine idea, or that which is filled with spiritual intention and energy. And the disciples are symbols of aspects of ourselves that are awakening. Okay, Jesus is the symbol of that in you, which is that capability that you have to know your oneness with the divine. He is the picture of the fullness of your spiritual self. So we're not talking about here about focusing on Jesus. We're talking about focusing on that part of yourself, that spiritual power, that spiritual presence, that spiritual connection with the infinite, with the divine, through which all is provided for you. And as you focus on that, then within yourself there is a quickening of these aspects that is symbolized by the disciples. And from that, then we're able to attract or draw into manifestation that which we need. Now, this is a different way of working than some of the other spiritual teachings you'll run into. Because what we understand is that these things we're holding within ourselves, these beliefs, I'm not worthy, life is hard, it's a struggle, all those kind of things, are what are blocking that flow. And yet the attention is not on them. Just as when Charles Fillmore was there, he didn't try to talk them out of what the problem was. Okay, he went to, I am connected with a source that has more than enough. And that raising of consciousness. Okay, and so in each one of these, that's that focus. So I want to share with you at least one way to do that. Okay, this comes from an experience that I had in which I was sitting in the midst of not enough, and I went through this, which I recognize now is covered by these symbols, and the result was the immediate change into more than enough. Now, the core of the question becomes, what is it? How do we make that connection with that part of you that is symbolized by Jesus in the story? If we look at what that is, which is the divine incarnate in the human, then we have the understanding, what is the divine? What is it that he took us back to and focused us on again and again and again? It's the experience of love. So if I can enter into that experience, then it is that power and presence that awakens my being to that higher level, so that I am then receptive and draw forth all that I need. Make sense? What we're doing? So I see that in three steps. The first is, I am loving. Okay, that's that step of going to and feeling the love that you have. Feeling that love for others. I am loving. And then entering into the next experience, which I am loved. That experience where we are aware of this love within us, for us. I am loved. And then it completes in the most interesting and beautiful way. As you step away from it, you are aware, I am love. That love is in you, with you, who you are. I am love. So the steps are, I am loving, I am loved, I am love. Join me. I am loving, I am loved, I am loved. Again. I am loving, I am loved, I am loved. And again. I am loving, I am loved, I am loved. And let's enter into it for just a moment. So I invite you to take that first step. Just be aware and let yourself feel, I am loving. Feel that love that you have for others. Feel it for sons or daughters or parents or friends or those special people in your life that just you love so easily. I am loving. Feel that. And now I am loved. To make that shift to where you have that feeling of love, but it's not directed outer. Receive it yourself. I am loved. Feel that love. And now as you bring your attention back to the outer, I am love. Feel it with you. What you carry, it is who you are. You are that loved. I am loving. I am loved. I am loved. Join me. I am loving. I am loved. I am loved. Okay, now, my experience is it takes a little work to actually shift consciousness. So, would you be willing to take and for the next 2 weeks, make the commitment every day to take and spend probably about 15 minutes in entering into and going through that experience. I am loving, I am loved, I am loved. Letting yourself have that experience of that love. And letting it be there each day as its power moves in and through your being, as its power quickens these capacities within us to draw forth the unlimited good and the blessings that seek to enter our lives. You want to do that with me? Okay, 2 weeks? Willing to do it? Okay, so that's until Mother's Day. Okay, Mother's Day we focus it all on Mom. Okay, but until then we're gonna change our consciousness. And part of what we understand is as we do that, as we make that commitment as a group consciousness, okay, then those that is a real struggle for their lives, in their lives, receive that strength of what you're doing. They receive that spiritual breakthrough as it happens for all of us. And as we create that together, what happens is our breakthrough, our freedom from those limiting beliefs, flows as spiritual energy that others far beyond this community are able to touch into and awaken to. So, beautiful work. I am loving. I am loved. I am loved. Join me again. I am loving. I am loved. I am loved. And everything's going to be taken care of because you've got a rich Father.
Thank you for that message of love, Reverend David. If you would like prayer support for challenges or celebrations, please ask one of our heart ministers. They'll be available after the service here in the sanctuary, out on the patio, and they are the ones wearing the lavender stoles. You are also invited to place a prayer request in one of our prayer request boxes, which are located in the front lobby, in the book center, or by selecting the prayer request button on our website, and we will be praying with you throughout the week. It is now time for our prosperity celebration. For Love in Action or credit card donations, there are envelopes provided in the seat pockets in front of you. I invite you to take your tithe or offering in your hands and be aware that God is the source of all your good. Repeat our affirmation with me together. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive.
All right, I'm going to do a little Irish folk song called Wild Mountain Time, and the lyrics will show up there, so please join in and sing along as you feel. For the summertime is coming, and the trees are sweetly blooming, and the wild mountain thyme blooms around the purple heather. Oh, will you go, lassie, go? And we'll all go together to a wild mountain time, all around the purple heather. Oh, will you go, true love will not go. I will surely find another to pour wild mountain time all around the purple heather. Will you go, lassie? Oh, and we'll all go together to pour wild mountain time all around the purple heather. Oh, will you go, lassie? Oh, I will build my love bower by yon clear and crystal fountain, and in it I'll pile all the flowers from the mountain. Oh, will you go, lassie? Oh, and we'll all go together to pour wild mountain time all around the purple heather. Oh, will you go, lassie? Oh, now here's the part where we fade away. Will you go, lassie? Oh, will you go, lassie? Oh, last one real slow. Will you go, lassie? Go. Beautiful voices. Thank you.
So let's bless our children together. Children, you are loved, special, and important. God loves you, and so do we. All right. And we give thanks for these gifts, knowing that each of us knows that infinite source that we call Father with such joy. Amen. I invite you to stand and let's take hands and share together our prayer of protection. Together, the light of God surrounds us, the love enfolds us, the power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And our peace song.
With God
are the love and the light and the peace in the earth right now. So let it shine and have fun.